Hey guys, I'm at my sister's place and we're gonna ask her some questions about her trip to Wisconsin.
Oh, there she is. Oh, hey Vika.
Hey.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, nice. So, once you mentioned that you spent your last summer in the state of Wisconsin in the US.
Right.
First of all, what kind of program was that?
That was a work and travel program. So you apply to a local agency and then they check your English level, and then you can work as a housekeeper or something if your level is low, or you can have a waitress or a seller position or something if your level is good enough. So you apply to the agency, and then every week or something they send you a lot of positions from many states, so you can choose the position you like.
And why would you choose Wisconsin out of all the places in America? It seems like a very remote area.
Well, that was my second time. Right before that, I also participated in this program, and I went to New Jersey, and I worked as a cotton candy seller, and it was nice, but there were a lot of Russian-speaking people in New Jersey. It was a touristic place, so I didn't have much time to practice, because I went home, I spoke Russian, and yeah, so I decided to find a place, like not a touristic place, some kind of a small city where I can practice a lot, where I can meet a lot of local people, Americans.
Now, where did you live? What kind of accommodation were you provided?
My boss, Bob, he provided like a summer cabin where I lived. It was kind of 4 kilometers from the place when I worked, and I lived there alone because I was the only one participant from Russia, from abroad.
So he was expecting more people, but you were the only one who came. So you had the house to yourself then.
Well, yeah, actually, participants on this program, they usually expect to have some fun, to go to some places like Maryland, to New Jersey, and they usually hang out with the people from their country, like Russians. They drinking or something, yeah. And we had this conversation when we were going back from some place with Bob. And
cats exploring the apartment. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and he said that this is weird because he asked for 3 positions, for a bartender, for a waitress, and a cook, and he only got the waitress, like me, and he's like, I don't know why. And this is sad because I know why, because nobody wants to go to some really small town, you know.
Did you have times when you felt like you were scared being in the middle of the woods?
When I first came, I was really tired and I didn't realize what's happening, and I just fell asleep. And then I woke up, and I realized that I'm kind of in the middle of the wood. And Bob, he gave me the bicycle, so I was able to go to the grocery store, but it was kind of a long road. It was 8 kilometers to get to the grocery store. And and I was scared, and my parents, they kept telling me, like, you need to change the place, you need to go to the bigger city, to Duluth or something, because I was in Minong. Minong is 5 sorry.
Someone's calling for attention. Come on.
Like 500 people population. Is like a very, very small city. Yeah, but because of the people I worked with, because of the Bob, of his daughter Sabrina, I started feeling more comfortable, and I decided to stay.
Cool. Now, were you bored at times, or did you find things to do, like being in a very remote area?
Well, I wasn't bored. I had a lot of work, and in 1 week, in 1 or 2 weeks, we both realized that bicycle is not good enough. Like I can't go back from work at 11 p.m. or something because of the wood of the wild animals, and we started to looking for a car. And actually Bob, he really helped me a lot. He got a car from his friend, a really cheap one. It was less than $1,000. It was a Chevy Impala.
Right.
Yeah, so I had a car and I found a lot of nice things to do. I went to all the nearest cities. I just, when I had my days off, I get into the car and I go to the nearest city, and I find something to do. I explore it. I go to the local restaurants or something.
Cool. Is that license plate the one that you brought from the
Yes.
US? What did you make of Americans? Would you say they were friendly? Did they meet your expectations? Are they different from Russians?
Well, I think they're not very different from Russians. And when I went to Wisconsin, they were trying to show me as much as they can. They were trying to get me to some waterfalls, to rodeo, to some boat rides, and they were super friendly. So I have a really good experience with the Americans in Wisconsin.
Oh, cool. So you got to see everything. Now, in one of the videos in the park video, we mentioned that the nature is kind of similar to here in the Urals in Russia. Is that true?
Yeah, I think the nature is very similar. Except the fact that I think they have more waterfalls, but all other things are pretty the same. They have woods. The weather is almost like here. So when I check like the weather on my phone, I still have Meinung, and it's always the same. Like Meinung,
wow.
Yekaterinburg, yeah.
I'm sure you had some scary moments living all by yourself in the middle of the woods. And if you had some, do you want to share?
One of this evening, I was watching the TV and I noticed something flew in the other room, and it was something fast. And my first thought was it was a mole or a bird, and then it flew one more time and I saw that it's kind of a dark. So like, okay, it's not a mole, just a bird. It was totally dark and it wasn't doing any bird moves, right? It was just flying like this. And I realized it was a bat. I never saw a bat in my life. I was super scared. I ran from the kitchen to the living room. So yeah, and then it was 12 a.m. or something. I wrote to Bob, like, can you go to my place immediately? I have a bat in my house. He said something like, oh, I'm already in bed. I'm sorry. I'm gonna come in the morning. And I didn't know what to do because when I was running, it was like kitchen, my room, living room, and I went to the living room and I didn't know where the bed is. Okay, so I came to my room and I didn't turn off the light. The light was on all the night. I couldn't sleep, and the bed was scratching. And it was scratching from my room to kitchen or from kitchen to my room. I didn't know. It was super, super scary. I couldn't sleep. And in the morning when Bob came, we couldn't find her. So she just appeared. And it wasn't the only case with the bats happened to me. In 1 or 2 weeks I came home. I turned out the light and I saw one more bat. She was flying. It was flying here. And when the Bob came last time, he left a net in the cabinet. He said, I know you're not gonna use it, right? I'm just gonna leave it here. And I used it and I was trying to catch it, and I didn't have a funny video when I'm trying to get this bat out of the house.
Значит, я сражаюсь с мышкой, которая не хочет улетать. Мыша, пойдем. Хватит тут летать, вылетай отсюда. В другую комнату, пожалуйста. Мыша. Ну-ка, хватит. Мышка.
One more case when I didn't have a car and I was riding a bike. I was going from home to grocery store. 2 dogs, probably from the neighbors or something. They started to running after me very fast and they looked very angry. So they were definitely trying to bite me or something. And I started riding really fast, and I was lucky because I was on a hill. So riding down from the hill, and I was faster than dogs only because of this. And yeah, so I survived, but it was very scary, and that was one of the things. Well, I decided to buy a car.
Right, you're a pretty brave girl. Did Americans know much about Russia? Because a lot of times you would be speaking to Americans and they only know about Moscow and they're totally unaware of the rest of Russia. So did they know anything about Russia?
Yeah, they don't really. As in New Jersey, in other places, cases like, oh, you're from Russia? Yeah, we have a girl from Ukraine. So you you can have much fun to get to the same places.
Did you go to the same kindergarten?
Yeah. And what else? And some people, like actually elder people, they said something like, oh, Russia, yeah, I know Russia, but is this still Russia? Isn't it the USSR now? Something like that.
Did you make some friends in America?
Yeah, I guess I did. We're really good friends with Bob, with his daughter Sabrina, and I also met Jackie, which helped me a lot, which she was training me how to work as a waitress, and we had some good time with her and her mom, Jerry. We had a boat ride and also some visited some nice places. Also, in July and August, I organized some kind of a dinner night at the cabin at my place. In July, I made a Thai food. It was the curry chicken with coconut cream, something like this. They really like it. We had a good time. We were playing table games, and they also were asking for the recipe after the night. And in August, in the end of August, I made a Russian dinner. I made a borscht and olivier and I guess something else. I think they didn't really like it, but we still had a good time.
So Vika, you mentioned you worked at a bar, and bars are normally a source for good jokes. Now, anything happened that's worth mentioning?
In this small city, they don't have an Uber, so if you want to go to the bar, you need to drive, right? And how to get home is a kind of a question here. So once I was working as a bartender, I usually was working as a waitress, but sometimes, and there was a couple, and they were drinking beer. They drank like 3 bottles of beer each, right? And then they asked for Jägermeister, I'm pronouncing it right. And I gave it to him, and I also got 1 more bottle of beer or something. And then a man, he asked for 1 more shot. I gave it to him, and I asked the woman if she also wants some. She said, well, you know, actually I'm driving, so not. It was fun. She drank a lot of alcohol, right?
Wow. Quite a story. Now, were there many traffic police on the streets? Like, did they have to worry about getting back home and arrested?
No, there wasn't a lot of police now.
So maybe that's why they felt so confident
Yeah.
about doing that. Okay, but drinking and driving is bad. Okay. Apart from staying in that place in Wisconsin, did you get a chance to see other parts of America?
I only went to Minnesota in the end of the summer. I planned this trip and I booked a hotel in Minneapolis. And yeah, so Bob wanted to go with me, but Sabrina has had her birthday, so he didn't, and I went to Minneapolis alone. When I came here in the morning, I went to the Science Museum, which was really nice. Then I went shopping, which I also liked, and I felt like Minneapolis is some kind of a student city for some reason, because you know they have some universities. They have the universities I like. After shopping, I decided to go to city center. It was just 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., not too late for me. I went to the city center, and I also took the bike with me. For some reason, it took me almost 1 hour to get it into the car. And I was so happy that they took it with me, because I was there in the city center for 30 minutes or something, and 4 or 5 times some of the people said to me things like "Hey you" or something in a very rude manner. Yeah, and I was just kept riding the bike. And I think that saved me or something. I was scared, and I was checking if it's really the city center, because it didn't look like this. There were a lot of drunk people, a lot of bad places like clubs, but you don't want to go to these clubs because the smell of weed, the drunk people, and a lot of the police and a lot of the people who want to, for something from you, want to, I don't know, like, so I didn't feel safe, and that really surprised me because I expected something more different from this place.
Right. I think they call it catcalling. It's like the unwanted attention to women that women don't require.
Yeah, I was wearing like jeans and a jacket and I was riding a bike. That was really weird.
Okay. Right. Were there many drug addicts?
Yeah.
Okay. So not a good place to be at night.
Right.
So it's not family friendly at all.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's kind of surprising though. You know, last time I went to San Francisco, my impression was pretty much ruined. Okay, now a lot of Russians go into America for the summer. They want to make some money. Were you able to amass a fortune? How much did you earn?
Well, I was able to make some good money working as a waitress. The tips were really nice, and I guess I was working a lot. And I don't know, it was I made about like 5,000 or something, but the trip was also very expensive, like the tickets, the cost of the program, so, but it's still more than I paid.
Right. So the program would be roughly about $2,000?
Right, yeah.
Okay, so you brought back 5,000, which paid for the trip, and then you had $3,000 left. Do you have any advice to Russian students that might be going to the US on this work and travel trip?
Well, it depends on their goals, I guess. If they just want to have fun, to have a good summer, they can go whenever they like places like near the coast, like Maryland, as I mentioned. Yeah, but if they want to improve their language, they want to know some, I don't know how to say, some local traditions or something.
Like culture, immersion.
Like culture, yeah. It really want to practice it a lot, so they need to choose some kind of small places to go. Thanks for watching this.
Okay, hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
This is wonderful.
Piece of fat in my mouth.
We love Victoria. She's amazing.